You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. But what if I told you that quote isn't just motivational fluff? Your mindset, your income, your habits, even your happiness are being shaped daily by the people in your circle. So let's dive right into this. Welcome to the Cody Hoffine Show. This is, guys, the place for entrepreneurs who want more clarity, more alignment, and more meaning in their business and in their lives. I'm Cody Hoffine, and each week I'm going to bring you lessons, guys, from my own journey and conversations with people who face the same struggles, challenges you're dealing with right now. And together, guys, we're going to explore the habits, the mindsets, and the decisions that create real success at work and at home. So let's get right into today's episode. This 5-step process, let's jump right into this. Step 1, list your core relationships. And to help you kind of do this, I want you to think about the 5 to 10 people you consistently spend time with. And let me give you some areas to just consider and think about. I want you to have a journal out. This podcast really should be about doing the work, because as you do the work, here's my promise. You are going to get better because of it. And every time you grow, more opens up to you, and more can be many, many, many things. So here's the areas I want you to think about as you start to write down these 5 to 10 people. I want you to think about your family. Who in your family do you hang out with the most? Who in your friends? What are the 5 to 10 people that you hang out with? I want you to think about your coworkers or team members. I want you to think about your mentors or your coaches, your business partners, or people that you collaborate with. And I want you to remember during this, it's not about always who you love the most, it's who influences you the most. And that's for good or for bad. And so I'm going to walk you through this on how you know if someone's a good influence or a bad influence on your life. Because if we really are the average of the 5 individuals we spend the most time with, it really does matter who we're hanging out with. And I like to use what is called the RISE filter. You guys know me. I love acronyms. Acronyms are what help me. And this quote by Jim Rohn suggests if you want to rise to the top, just be selective on who you hang out with. R, reflective. And this is a question that may be a little deep, but I want you to be thinking, do they think deeply? My guess is because you listen to my podcast, you're someone that does take time to think, time to reflect. But are the people you're hanging out with, do they take time to think deeply? Do they take time to reflect? Do they pause and self-examine? There's an awesome quote by John Maxwell. He says, it's not the experience that's the mother of all learning. He says it's the reflection upon the experiences that's the mother of all learning. What does he mean by that? Meaning we all know maybe someone in their 80s, 90s, which would suggest if they're that old, they've had more experience than us. But maybe you're like, but I wouldn't listen to them. I wouldn't receive one word of advice from these guys. Why? Even though they've had the experiences, what they failed to do was reflect upon those experiences and learn how to sharpen, how to get better, how to improve, how to become 1% better or the better version of themselves each and every day. Because they didn't take time to reflect, they probably continued to make the same mistakes over and over and over again. But those that reflect upon their experiences, holy smokes, let me sit down with them. Let me pull out a journal. I want to learn from them, because that, my friends, is true wisdom. I is inspiring. Do they pull greatness out of you? So I want you to think about the people in those areas. Are they pulling greatness out of you, or are they pulling you down? That's what I need you to be crystal clear on. Is every weekend the same? Hey, we're going to go hang out with the boys. We're going to go to the bar. Now, guys, I'm not going to make fun of you or judge you if you drink and smoke. I choose not to put poison in my body. And it's not looking at it philosophically, scientifically. They're proving all this stuff is so bad for the body. So are the weekends the same? They're taking you to the bars and it's like, hey, let's go get some beers and let's watch the football game. Are they pulling you up? Are they pulling greatness out of you? Or are they pulling you down, holding you back from greatness? And I want you to consider, what are the habits? What are the things you do when you're with these individuals? You guys, life's too short to just be average, to just be mediocre. S, supportive. Do they root for you and root for your success even when it doesn't benefit them? One of the analogies I love, if you pull up like any kind of YouTube video and you can just type in blue crabs in a bucket, if there's one blue crab in a bucket, it will get out of the bucket and it'll get out of it pretty quick. But if there's 2 or more in there, every time a blue crab goes out of the bucket, one of them will reach up, grab it, and pull it back down. You guys, so is life. If you're around blue crabs or people in your life, when you want to go up, become more, and you want to rise, are they the ones that are cheering you on, saying, let's go, I'm supporting you, I want you to get there, go get there? Or are they people that are like blue crabs saying, you don't want to do that, and they grab you and pull you back down into that bucket? Guys, it's a real thing. Be real with yourself. Are they supporting you or are they tearing you down? E is evolving. Are they actively growing too. I love this quote also that comes from Jim Rohn. As you can't probably tell through my podcast, I quote Jim Rohn quite a bit. Rarely does a man's income exceed their level of personal development. I want you to think through that. Are they evolving? Because if not, they're probably also not reaching the income that you want to reach. You are listening to this podcast because you want to maximize who you are, but rarely does a man's income exceed his level of personal development. Are they ones that love it? Or are they like, oh, when you talk about like personal development books, you're like, hey, I just read Atomic Habits by James Clear, dude, listen to this. Or I just read Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martell. And you're like, oh, you got to listen to this. And they're like, oh, personal development, dude, you got to read better books. In fact, don't even read it all. There's a cool series on YouTube and there's an amazing series and episode on Netflix going on. I'd much rather do that. Like, are they evolving? Or are they just kind of coasting through life? Find people that are evolving each and every day. What are the ways, because you might be sitting there thinking, furthermore, how do I identify if these relationships really are limiting who I am? And so really there are red flags that I can give you right now that are gonna help you think and consider as you're going through these relationships. What are the red flags to let me know if this relationship is a relationship of limitation? One of them, they constantly talk about what's not possible, right? Maybe there are people that watch the news each and every day. And guys, I'm telling you, at the Hoffine household, no news is good news. Meaning, I haven't watched news my whole marriage. Why? And people ask that, like, why? Don't you wanna know what's going on? I don't, to be completely honest. Because when Cody watches the news, or when he ever has watched the news, there's nothing inspiring. There's nothing healthy. It doesn't provide any emotions that are positive, that serve me at a high level. Whenever I watch the news, it's always some negative story or some buy-in or some political garbage that they want to push. And it just puts emotions in me that don't serve me. It puts anger in me. It puts depression in me. It makes me give up hope for life when I watch the news. So no news is good news, right? Are the people you hang out with, are they constantly talking about what's not possible? Like, oh, that's not possible. You can't start a business with all these tariffs and everything going on. Now is the time to make more money than the history of the world has ever seen, and that is a truth. Another red flag, you feel emotionally small or energetically drained around them, right? As you hang out with them, you're like, oh, I don't know how to tell Jim I don't want to hang out with Jim anymore, but gosh, I keep hanging out with them. But every day I hang out with this person, I am drained. Like, I go home just feeling little. I feel small. I feel like I'm not even doing what I should be doing. If that's you, that is a red flag. Another red flag, they minimize your dreams or question your growth. When you share with them where you want to go, oh man, I'm at $1 million, I want to go to 10 million, or I'm at 10 million, I want to go to 20. Are they sitting there minimizing your dreams and questioning your growth? Like, oh, you don't want to do that. You're crazy. From 1 to 10 million, that means you got to grow a team, and team is headaches. You guys, here's the best thing. Those that have never done it in life are the first to give you advice. That is a truth. When you go to these individuals and you tell them your dreams, like, oh, you want to do it, hiring people is a headache. I want you to first ask them, when's the last time you hired someone? When's the last time you wanted to go to 10 million? The people that are throwing out those cheap comments are the people that have never done it. They're usually the people that have given up on their dreams, and so they want you to join them in their circle of pity and give up on your dreams. That is another truth. As hard as that was to hear, it's a truth, guys. Make sure you're maximizing the people you hang out with that support your dreams, push you to go and grow. Okay, another red flag. It's always one-sided. Do you have relationships where you're always giving and they're just always taking? There's no reciprocation. There's nothing where they give back. They're not there to help you. They don't do the invites. It's like, if we hang out, it's because I'm always inviting you. Or whenever I'm with you, you're always asking for A, B, and C, and I'm always delivering A, B, and C. Oh, and as well as I'm giving you X, Y, and Z. But then they never give in return. Red flag, time to upgrade, time to move on, right? Another red flag, they resist change, growth, or personal responsibility. So they have that victim mindset behind them. They're like, yeah, I can't start a business because the economy we live in, or I can't do this because of who's president of the United States. That is a victim mindset. That is not true. That is someone who is thinking small, that's someone that's not doing the work, and that's someone that's full of excuses, which means victim mindset. Do they resist that change, their growth, and their personal responsibility. The last red flag that's a good one to think about is, so guys, as you hear these red flags, I want you to think about this. If someone came to mind just now, I want you to trust it. So if you're asking these questions, you're thinking about the red flags, these people are coming to your mind, trust it. Write it down so that you're aware of who are these individuals that are bringing you down versus rising you to the top or raising you up. Now, step 4, guys, I want you to ask this freedom question. This is something that's going to bring so much freedom in your life. If I spent less time with this person, what might I have the energy and freedom to do or become? You guys, this is such a good question. Let me ask that again. If I spent less time with this person, what might I have the energy and freedom to do or become? This is huge. It's not about cutting people off. It's about creating space for your growth, for your expansion. And I want you to think about this. Frame that question, and I want you to frame the whole limiting time with them as love for you and love for them. So it's not just about cutting it off. I need you to have the framework, the mindset that you're like, oh, it's because I love me and it's because I love them. Not, oh, it's because I love me and it's going to hurt them. It's also loving them by limiting your time with these individuals. Less time might actually be what frees them as well. Meaning when they don't get to hang out with you anymore, maybe that is the one thing that actually gives them the inspiration or the thought that they've got to change their ways because they just lost a great friend. They just lost a great human being. And because of it, it might be the thing that actually changes their life. Step 5, you do this in small steps. You do this in baby steps. I'm not telling you to just go out and just start ghosting people. If you're hanging out with people all the time, it's just limiting. It's scaling back. You don't have to cut them out instantly, although you can. It's not a problem if you want to go that route. I want you to think about this. Set better boundaries. There's a book out there. It's actually called Boundaries, coincidentally. And it's a great book. Me and my wife have both read that book. Incredible book. There's another one called Crucial Conversations. This is a book that teaches you when things are hard because you're thinking, oh man, how do I tell Jim I don't want to hang out with him anymore? Crucial conversations. You're going to have a crucial conversation with them. This book kind of leads and guides you and gives you the comfort and confidence that crucial conversations are actually a great thing. It allows vulnerability, which is the deepest form of connection. Fantastic for you to go do. What you want to do is limit your time with them. What I also want you to understand is you can love people who you limit your time with, and you can love them from a distance. That's just a truth. The other one is be intentional with those replacements. So as a farmer to plant a crop has to replace a weed, right? He simply pulls the weed, replaces it with a crop. So you want to swap one draining conversation. Maybe you're going to swap it with a podcast. Think of, okay, I'm going to limit my conversation. I don't want to do this phone call with Jim today. And I'm going to replace it with a podcast that inspires me, that lifts me up, that motivates me. Instead of gossiping or venting with a buddy, replace it with a book. Find a fantastic book. And if you ever want suggestions, DM me on Instagram. I'll give you fantastic books to read. I love reading. I read every single day. It's part of my who I am. And then join a mastermind, guys. Join a prayer group. Join a community that grows you. Make sure that you're replacing these toxic relationships with fantastic growth opportunities. In closing, guys, your future is shaped not just by your choices, but it's massively shaped by the circle of people that you're hanging out with each and every day. So here's my challenge to you. I want you to audit your 5 and upgrade that average. Being in rooms of people that are in the destination that you want to be in. That's the crucial thing. Think of who do you want to become? Find those people, find those rooms that they're in and join those rooms, join those conversations. Because if you put yourself in front of those people, just like Jim Rohn said, you're the average of the 5 that you spend the most time with. You put yourself in those rooms, you turn it from I hope it works to an actual reality because it's so true. It's a math equation. When you hang out with 5 and those 5 are better than you or in the destination that you want to be at, the likelihood of you becoming them, it becomes a reality. You guys, thank you so much for being here. Thanks for being on this episode today. Would you do me a huge favor? Would you go over and subscribe, like, and leave a 5-star review? And then more importantly, something that helps the algorithm with all this podcasting, making sure it gets out to as many ears as possible. Would you share this with someone? I want you to think about who came to your mind when you heard this. Please, for me, take a moment, share that with someone, to that someone that came to your mind, so that we can together have an impact on that individual's life and help change them in their journey as well. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you on the next episode.